Welcome to another edition of Maximum Life with yours truly, Michael Norman. Such a joy and a pleasure to be with you. Trust you're having an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing life. And that's the whole idea behind these broadcasts, to help you define and command your life, to have the life you literally can begin to design the life that you desire. For all things are possible to them that believe. So you have to believe first and then put in the work to bring to pass the things that you believe. I believe in this principle. It's very simple. It says, be, do, have. You must be the things that you want to be before you start being those things. I know that makes no sense at all, but that's a supernatural process by which God does everything. He thinks, he believes for it, or conceptualize in the mind, and then he becomes be about the business of performing the things that he's already seen in his mind. That's why you are not a mistake. I'm not a mistake. We're not happenstance. We're not some cosmic happenstance. All things are purposeful and intentional. And so that's the one thing I want to drive home to you today, that God literally operates by those same principles since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time. Laws of the Spirit are eternal. They don't change. They don't transmute into other things. They remain the same for as long as eternity. So that being the case, this is one of the reasons I want to share with you the mindset, because this is what I'm convinced is for me, the end all be all to everything that you ever desire. If you ever get a hold of this principle, it will literally begin to transform your very life, because even God says in the scriptures, Romans 12, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind is literally the GPS of your life. Where your thoughts go, so your life goes. Again, as a man thinketh, so is he. So your mindset, your paradigm is the central nervous system of your life. It determines the quality of your life, the direction of your life, whether or not you're going to have a fulfilled life, or whether or not you're going to be floundering in and out of things, up and down, in and out, like a ship without a sail, without direction. So again, must determine in your mind that I am that now, because from the standpoint of realizing I am what I desire to be now, even though I have no physical evidence to prove my case, but that's how it works. And if you're continually waiting for evidence, you may be waiting for a long time. How many people have lived 10, 20, 30 years of their life? 40 is right around when you start thinking about your life. You become a little more retrospective. You become a little more introspective. You start looking at yourself. You start measuring your life and the things that maybe you've acquired or accomplished, or maybe have not accomplished. And so when you start doing that, you realize I am a product of what I have thought, what I've believed, and what I've followed for years. And as a result, I am where I am because I believed to be where I am. I know that sounds a little self-incriminating, but that's the hard truth. That's the hard reality that we all have to face. Even myself, I look at the person in the mirror. I have to say to that person in the mirror, you are the cause for where you are. I know you've had some hard things happen to you. I know you've had some disappointments. I know you had some times of depression and anxiety that has tried to assail your life. But the truth of the matter is that we are where we are, not because of what happened to us, but how we received what happened to us. So today I'm going to help you transform your mindset. This is not an overnight success sort of teaching. But if you adhere to this on a consistent base, you do the same things over and over. And this is where most people fall off, because they don't stay on the path. It trends until it's no longer trendy, and then we fall off. But that's when most people lose out. Now, the ones who win continues far beyond when it stops being trendy, when it stops being popular. Because again, it's consistency that wins the day. Consistency, being able to do the same things over and over and over and over again, consistently doing it until you get the desired results. So again, if you're going to be successful in life, number one, you must start out by being. Now, this is not even what I was going to teach today, but it's good. And so I'll just give it to you as a bonus. Okay. So it's the be, do, have. I must be, and then I must be willing to do so that I can have. Be, do, have. Most people want to have, and then they'll be. But it actually works in the opposite. And I've taught this before, how that you talk to many millionaires and billionaires, they didn't just haphazardly make their way to their billions. They had a clear concept of what they desired for their lives, and they charted a course that would take them there. And so they made a decision. Do you know, here's an interesting fact. Do you not know that the word decision is not an issue of choosing what you desire, but actually it means to cut off. So it's deciding means and has more to do with cutting things off than adding things to yourself and choosing what you want to do. And that's where a lot of us really have a big challenge, learning how to cut things off, things that are fun, things that are enjoyable, people that we love, people that we enjoy. Sometimes you have to decide to cut away from that environment in order for you to walk into your divine purpose, the thing that God has purposed for you. And one thing about destiny, one thing about it will not, it's not an Uber service. It's not a Lyft service. It will not come and pick you up. You have to go after that. That's why we call it dream chasers. You have to chase your dreams because your dreams will not come and pick you up. It's just that simple. And so I want to help you with a few principles here. I got here in my notepad that I trust that you'll write down and that you'll apply to your life. And I want to hear about how it has ministered or made a difference in your life as you adhere to these principles, as they have made a difference in my life. I come from a background of low self-esteem, not knowing my own worth. And because I was so religiously influenced, I thought that the things of this world were antithetical to the will of God for my life. And as such, I wasn't willing. I didn't even have a mindset of success or being prosperous because we thought, it was to be broke was to be more godly. To be more godly means to be broke. Why? Because if we don't get it here, we're going to get it in heaven. And so we're willing to forfeit everything on earth. You remember the old song, if you're some churchgoers, you remember, you can have this whole world, but give me Jesus. And in fact, Jesus is saying, actually, I want you to have this whole world. Jesus in his final prayer said, and his model prayer said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, which implies that whatever is going on in heaven should be happening on earth. Not just planet Earth, but in earthen vessels. That's you. That's me. We should be demonstrating the kingdom of heaven, not just simply talking about it and not simply just desiring to go there, but to actually experience it here whilst we're here on planet Earth. That's really the desire. That's the idea behind the model prayer, is so that we can actually experience what heaven actually is all about. So let me share a few things with you. And now as you heard it, you see in the title that your mindset is for me, it's the end all be all. I might as well tell you that right now. Your mindset is everything. Now, you can have a whole lot of other things, but I promise you, if your mind is not engaged, if your soul is not engaged, you're going to be floundering. It's not going to come to pass. And and if it does, you have to take the scenic route and take all the bumps and the bruises that comes with making mistakes. Nothing wrong with mistakes, because again, at least they will tell you, hey, this is not the right way. This is not the path that you should take because of the bumps and the bruises and all of the discouragement and disappointments that come with making the wrong decision. But at least it lets you know, well, this is not a viable route for your life. Thomas Edison was once quoted as saying that in his pursuit of inventing the light bulb, he had to fail 1,000 times. He had 1,000 losses. He took 1,000 L's. Now, those losses were not, in his mind, they weren't losses. They were lessons. Those losses were not losses. They were lessons that he learned. He said, I simply learned 1,000 different ways that you cannot invent the light bulb. And that's a matter of persistence. You got to have that dog-like tenacity that I will not give up. I am depressed. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm upset, but I am not giving up. Man, now that's some bulldog tenacity that's going to walk you right into your divine purpose. Now, again, you got to get that concept in your mind. It always starts with the mind. Everything starts with the mind. Okay? Everything starts with the mind. Everything. You are where you are because of your paradigm. What is a paradigm? No, it's not two sets of dimes. It's a mindset. It's a disposition. It's a mental disposition that you must have to possess to walk forward, and what determines the decision and the choices you're going to make for your life. So it makes sense to read, to ingest as much information, take time to meditate and silence yourself so that you can begin to hear what the Spirit would say to you as it relates to what's your destiny, what's your purpose, why are we here? That's the cry of every human heart. What is my purpose? What's my reason for being? And the only way you get the answers to those things is to silence yourself. So again, that you will hear in the region of your minds as it relates to what your purpose. That's where God speaks into your spirit. And the spirit or your heart is always linked to your mind. So that's a powerful principle. That being said, everything is attracted by virtue of the mind, whether it's wealth, whether it's money, whether it's health. It has been proven that those who carry a healthy mental disposition suffer less sickness, less depression, less anxiety than those who have a negative disposition. It's been scientifically proven. So you can literally think your way out of your circumstances. I think myself happy. I think myself full of joy. I think myself prospering in good health, wholeness, happiness, money, everything. Because everything flows from a proper mindset. I wish I'd learned this when I was younger. I could have avoided a lot of bumps, but my bumps are your lessons, okay? I wouldn't be here today teaching you these concepts if I hadn't gone through the things that I've dealt with and found out all of the wrong ways that you can make mistakes in your life, so that I can bring it to you and let you know where those pitfalls, those holes in the ground that you don't see, I can let you know where they are. Those mines that are in life that are in different places around, that I can let you know this is where it is. Make sure you do not fall into these pits. Okay? All right, that being said, your belief system shapes your outcome. What you believe becomes the filter through which you interpret every opportunity. So again, many people are praying for opportunities. Lord, give me an opportunity. Give me a sign. Help me give me an idea, a concept, something that you want for my life, something that's going to bring me into wealth, prosperity, and health, and all of these good things. And the reality is that if you don't have the proper mindset, you will not recognize opportunity when it comes. You won't listen. If you don't know where you're going, you won't know when you get there. So you've got to already have a mental a picture mentally. You've got a diagram, a GPS. Your vision is what is actually your GPS, because it tells you where to go, who to go with, and who not to bring along with you. And so it's so important. It's so vitally important for you to get this mental disposition first and foremost. So that's why, again, meditating is so important. It's so important for you to stop and quiet the noise, not just the noise outside of you, but the noise inside of you. Silence yourself and calm things down so that you can begin to hear what you otherwise would not hear, because the Spirit of God does not speak. It doesn't, when it does speak, it's not yelling. It's not going to scream. You're going to have to be quiet. You're going to have to bring the noise down so that you can begin to hear. Oh yeah, that's good. That's something that I can use. That's a great idea. And so you'll begin to hear things that otherwise you would not hear. Okay? So you have to, if you have to have the proper mindset so that you'll be able to determine, you'll be able to discern things that are for you as well as the things that are not for you. And even the things that are for you has their specific time. They have a specific time, a specific place for your life. There's a season for everything under the sun. Even good things in the wrong season will have an inverse, a reverse effect. Okay? So, but the only way you're going to be able to determine that sort of thing is to develop the proper mindset so that you can recognize, and you'll hear things that if you're not, that others won't hear. You'll hear things that you would not hear or recognize if you were in a state of confusion, where life becomes, one big experiment for you. But when you begin to silence your mind and when you begin to get clear, laser focus on what it is that you desire out of your life, that itself is going to bring so much clarity. You're going to be able to know where you're going, and you'll know when you get there. The old saying we say in church, like a ship without a sail. If you don't know where you're going, you would be like a ship being tossed to and fro on the winds and waves of life until you finally come to a place where you recognize, wait a minute, I must have a clear destination so that I will know which direction I should take. So when you become aware of your purpose, you become aware of your destiny, and you know where you're going, and life cease to become one big experiment for you. When you're experimenting, you never know what's going to happen. When you don't know where you're going, every place looks like the right place. Until something happens, and now every place looks like the wrong place. What crystallizes your destiny? What crystallizes your direction? What crystallizes your direction? It's knowing what you want and knowing what it's going to take to get there. And being committed. Now this is the clincher. Being committed for the journey, however long it takes, as long as you're clear. Now this presupposes you've learned, this is what I'm called. This is my vocation. This is my divine purpose in life. Now I'm going to educate myself, empower myself as it relates to that particular purpose, as it relates to that particular calling, and that desire for my life. I'm going to begin to empower myself so I can become a trusted source and a resource for those that are around me that need what I'm offering. So if you are an accountant, you recognize, then I got to study math. I got to get into how to do accounting. I have to know how to balance budget, how to plan a budget, that sort of thing, so that you become the go-to person when it comes to accounting. It's that way in I grew up a musician, and I wish I had learned or at least been committed to this a lot more. But as a musician, I didn't have to learn how to play per se. No one taught me how to play the piano. It was just one of those, I guess you could say, prodigy type things. I just started dabbling and doodling with the piano. Next thing you know, I'm playing the piano. I'm later winning awards, becoming one of the most sought after musicians. And so what I wish I had done is I poured more into, because I was living off the gift. I didn't have to study. I didn't have to do a whole lot of book study, because everything they were playing by books, I was learning by ear in a matter of minutes, and I'll have it. But if I spent a little more time studying the craft beyond just the actual playing, but learn the mechanics, things would have been a little bit different for me. So again, determine what you are, who you are. What you do is not who you are. And one of the ways that you can determine what you're called to do is to recognize the things that affect you deeply. I mean, the thing that draws out your passion, that draws out the desire in you, that's probably what you're called to. The thing that angers and infuriates you, maybe that's what you're called to correct. But you have to be very introspective. You have to be sensitive and begin to analyze yourself and realize, wait a minute, these are things that affect me in a certain way. Perhaps I should do something about it. And so again, the only way that you're going to know that is to filter it through your mindset. So your mind becomes the filter through which you interpret every opportunity. Because you're going to get a lot of them. You're going to get a lot of things that will try to come and offer themselves to you. God knows. I'm a victim of that, because I love to do a lot of things. I am the most curious person you're ever going to meet. I am super curious about everything. I mean, I am just intrigued just about by everything. So as such, I have to exert a lot more discipline than most people, because I will go off on a trail. I will go on that bunny track and that trail and see it all the way down, because I'm just that curious. And it will distract me from my ultimate purpose. And what happens is I'm so interested in that, and then, oh, I like that there. Oh, well, and I like this. And, oh, that's interesting right there. I want to be a part of that. Oh, I like that. And next thing you know, you are a jock of all trades, but a master of none. So here's the thing. You have to become focused on one thing. I'm not saying you can't do multiple things. I'm saying become a master at one and then expand from there. You can begin to add. You're talking about multiple streams of income. Learn one trade, become the master of it. And when you become the master of it, you become the go-to person. You add value. You have a skill set that is of value to those who are around you. That's why you could be the number one mechanic, or the number one accountant, or the number one attorney, or the number one baker, the number one shoe salesman, whatever you're about. When you begin to perfect the craft in you, they say if you spend 10,000 hours doing one thing, you become a professional at it. So you got to invest your 10,000 hours in your craft. Become committed to, I am staying the course for at least no less than 10,000 hours. That's what I'm going to commit to this until I get to a place where I'm proficient and I can call myself a professional in that particular area. Find your niche, find your area, drill down. Don't be broad. I'm helping you get set up for the new year, okay? Don't wait for January 1st. I'm helping you get prepared right now to start thinking, start concentrating, start focusing how you want 2026 to look for you. Don't let 2026 be a reenactment of 2025. All right, let's go to the next level. Let's think greater. Let's do grander things. Let's get more focused. Let's get more committed. Let's get more determined to do the thing that is in your heart to do, and stay on it. Don't let anything distract you. No woman, no man, no gifts, no travel, No, nothing. Don't let anything distract you from your desired objectives. And the more you stay focused on those things, the faster you'll get to those things. Okay? Because again, if you allow people to distract you, get you off course. Oh, I'm interested. Oh, I want to spend some time here, do some time there, spend some time there, spend some time there, do this, do that, and you're everywhere. Well, you may get to your destination, but it's going to be a long time before you get there because you're taking the scenic route. You're stopping to smell the roses. You're stopping to get have a drink with the friends, and you're stopping to hang out. Or you've got a toxic relationship over here that you should have gotten out of a long time ago, but now they've really shown themselves to be who they are. And now you're heartbroken about it and broke up. Now you got to spend a few weeks and months trying to get over depression and anxiety because of and just a whole lot of unnecessary things. Life be lifing. You just got to recognize that. It's not gonna help you. It's possible that life will distract you. And so you've got to design your own life. You've got to plan your own life. There's a scripture that says, many are the plans of a man's heart, but God's purpose prevails. In other words, God allows you to help you walk through those plans. Because life is not linear. It's not just one straight line. It's not just straight. Life is ups, downs. Through all of the vicissitudes of life, you have to have singleness of mind. There's another scripture that says, one thing I desired, one thing have I desired. You have to find that one thing, and that will I seek after. Seek after the one thing that you can perfect, that you can master, but you can only get it through developing your mindset. Get it through a renewed mind, a developed mind that says, I can do it. All right? And be committed to it. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything distract you. Not families, not friends, not anything. You can pick them up on the way back. Once you reach the mountaintop, you can invite them to come on up to be with you. But don't do it while you're on the journey. Make sure that you stay focused, because it's your mindset that will interpret every opportunity. And if you don't have the proper mindset, you will not recognize opportunity when it arrives. Because the truth be told, opportunity doesn't knock. Opportunity waits. And it waits for only for a period of time, and then it moves on. So you have to have the right mental disposition to recognize opportunity when it shows up, so that you'll know when it shows up. Let me give you one more. Energy precedes achievement. Prosperity begins with the energy you carry. Positive expectation creates momentum. Negative expectation creates delay. I just told you that, right? Negative expectation, negative mindset, negative disposition. It's a huge waster of time, because you'll be involved with people that you don't necessarily have any business engaging and being involved with. You get what I'm saying? You're going to have to learn. There's sometimes you're going to have to walk this thing alone. You're going to have to be committed to saying, if I have to do it by myself for a period of time, then I will, because there are things you're going to learn that can only be learned when you're in that time of isolation. But that's when the most growth will take place, so that it prepares you for the next level. As it is said, every level, new devil. You're going to experience new challenges, but what prepares you for those new challenges is how you respond to the old ones. Because the old ones are going to give you experience, it's going to give you know-how, and it's going to give you the fortitude so that you can handle the things that comes at the next level. Okay? Well, that's all I have time for this broadcast. I trust something has been said that maybe encouraged you and empowered or inspired you to reach forward, to achieve more with your life. There's so much more to you than meets the eye. You are not a mistake. You are here by divine providence. And if he did not want you here, you would not be here. So you might as well go forth and be great. Amen. And discover your purpose, discover your desire, and pursue it. Educate, empower. Don't take off running trying to be the master when you just realize what it is you're supposed to do. Now that you realize what your purpose in life is, educate yourself as much as you possibly can to the point that you become an expert, a professional. And then what you have will become of value to your clients, to your customers, to your members. Okay? That's what I'm looking forward for your life. That's what I'm looking forward to. Okay? Well, that's all I have time. I trust again something has been said that will bless you, encourage, and empower you. Love to hear from you. Let me know what you think in the chat. Okay? Make sure you put some words in the comments area. Let me know what you think, perhaps your perspective and maybe some of your experiences. And also maybe some things that you'd like me to approach on my future shows right here on Maximum Life with yours truly, Michael Norman. Okay? Love to hear from you. Again, till next time, blessings. Oh, by the way, I wanted to make sure that you go to my website, michaelnormanministries.com. I've got some deals there I'm going to make available for you. You can go to michaelnormanministries.com, michaelnormanministries.com, and check out. We've got some special deals for the closing out of the year that we want to make available for you. The algorithm of wealth. This is a multi-$1,000 webinar that we do. I'm going to make it available to you for ridiculously 75% off just for a limited time. So make sure you go to michaelnormanministries.com. Okay, till next time. Blessings.